everybody, it's Femtrooper and I'm back with a new video, finally! So let's do this. Let's do my top 10 JRPGs on the Nintendo Switch. The Switch has become my favorite console of all time, and a huge reason for that is the amount of JRPGs on the console. So obviously at this point I do have a top 10 and I'd like to share it. Some of them are, it's hard because it's like, is that really my number 3? Is that really my number 4? Some of them, I'm sure if you asked me in a month from now, number 4 might be number 3 and number 6 might be number 7 or whatever. But let's just go with a list. Let's do this. So coming in at number 10, let's start with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Sorry, I love this game, and I will be the first to admit that I was a huge hater of this game when it was announced. I thought, oh my god, they've dumbed down, my childhood. I loved this game when it came out, blue and red, and then now they're dumbing it down, making it like Pokemon Go, which I'll be honest, I don't like. I'm not a fan of that game, and I was really upset that they were putting the Pokemon Go, like the throwing mechanics into the game. I was so mad, but then I figured I'll give it a chance, and I absolutely loved it. I love Pokemon games no matter what, but I mean, this game was great because it was an upgraded version of Blue and Red. It was just so much fun to visit the Kanto region again, explore that amazing world that I love so much, all the familiar Pokemon, because yes, while I still play all the new entries, I just don't connect with the new ones the same anymore, so I know all the original 151, right? So I loved this game. It was fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It's obviously not a huge time commitment. It's not, because tons of quality of life upgrades. I think it's great. It's also a fantastic beginner entry-level JRPG. So here's the thing. You can love JRPGs. I love JRPGs. Been playing them for many years now, and I still love easy, simple JRPGs because they're comforting. This is definitely comfort food in the JRPG form. If you don't like Pokemon, that's fair, but this is a fantastic game. I just loved it. Coming in at number 9 is kind of cheating, but I'm going to go with a trilogy of games in a pack, and that is the Dragon Quest Erdrick trilogy. So it's Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3, and out of the 3, my favorite would be Dragon Quest 3, because it's just taking everything from the original games and making it so much better. It's a little bit more modern, but the original Dragon Quest is fantastic. I mean, if you like JRPGs, you have to play it. And this is a great way to play it. Yes, I realize that so many people slammed this one, like this specific port, this specific remake of it, because it has a little bit of a weird look. It's a mobile game that they put onto the Switch. So yeah, there are some criticisms, but I totally got past that. I kind of don't care. And it was a really, really good time. The first game is fantastic. It's doable. It's not, like the quality of life changes make it so much more accessible. Dragon Quest 2, which is known as kind of like an oddball, like a lot of people don't really like it as much as the first because it was really hard. In this format, it was totally fine. I loved it even more than the first. And then when I got to the third one, it was incredible. It was an absolute fantastic world journey. For those of you who don't know, my favorite style of JRPG is a huge, big, grand adventure. So that's why that's my favorite game. Because you really truly are going from town to town, going to explore, and it's so much fun. JRPGs like Persona 5 Royal, for instance, while they are like Persona 5 Royal is in my top 10 games of all time. It's great. It's a fantastic. It's one of my favorite JRPGs. But you kind of stay in the same area, and I just love that sense of adventure and exploration that you get in a game, in a series like Dragon Quest, and these are fantastic. Definitely pick this up. It's still very much available. Like, you could totally find this. It's not too expensive. Definitely pick this up. It's so good. I played them back to back, and I honestly had such a great time. Number 8 is one of these, but it is another pack. So I'll only be picking one from the pack, but the other game is still really good. So here's what it is. It's the Final Fantasy X 10 2 remaster that they put on the Switch. And for me, the game I'm picking for number 8 is Final Fantasy X-2. Yes, I actually really like that game. It's so much fun. It's really, really cheesy, but you have to go in knowing that and don't take it seriously. You can take it seriously to a certain degree, but it is just a total riot. The music is great. The characters are great. I love Yuna so much more in this game. She has more personality and character. I didn't find that she had as much in the first one. I don't know. And the reason 10 is not on this list is because I actually haven't beat 10. And games I've never beat, even if I get to the last boss and I didn't beat it, it doesn't count because I didn't actually see the end credits. I didn't truly finish it. So personally, I don't count games like that. I got pretty far into 10 and then I ended up dropping it. So one day I'd like to try it again on the Switch and give it another shot. And I'm sure it would be on this list for sure because I actually really like Final Fantasy X. But 10-2 I beat. I was so happy. It's a great game. It's really fun. The battle system is awesome with the dress spheres. It's really cool. Very different, very unique. 100% give it a shot. It's not a girly game. I swear to God, it's really fun. I love it. In spot number 7, we have another Final Fantasy game, and that is Final Fantasy IX. This was the first time I actually, really, truly, gave it my all and put effort into beating Final Fantasy IX, and it was fantastic. I love this game. I love the improvements they made to these versions, so definitely pick it up on the Switch. This is a nice physical copy to have. I know it's an import, but it's definitely worth it. So if you can get this copy, it is very heartwarming. This was one of those games where at the end, even though it's not like I'm not sad because something awful is happening, it was so heartwarming that I totally teared up because it was just it was one of those games where you stand up and clap. Games where you stand up and clap make my make my list, make my top 10. It's just really great characters, great music, obviously, really great world. I actually really enjoy the exploration in this game and the towns and everything. The aesthetic to it. It's really just neat. I really liked it. I was very much hooked and sort of enthralled with the story the whole time. It's really good, and you really get into it. You really want to see these characters succeed. I like that. When you have a game where you want the party to just kick ass and you're like, yes, that's one of these games. It was really, really good. So Final Fantasy IX, awesome. In spot number 7. Coming in at number 6 is a game that I was told for years to give a shot, and that, based on my taste, it's very colorful and whimsical. You'll totally love it. And that is the first Grandia. I have not played the second. This is the collection that I got. This is a limited run version that I got, the physical copy. But they did make I think there's an Asian import version that's a lot cheaper that you can get. So if you still want a physical, it's pretty doable because I think this is pricey now. I picked it up right away, obviously. So now it's really pricey. But Grandia 1 is really, really fun. At first, I didn't connect with it as much, and then as the story progressed and, more of the traveling and world adventure and spirit, and, you're playing kids in this game, or they're like kids and teenagers. It's so much fun. It's so heartwarming. Completely whimsical. The opening, main theme to Grandia is definitely one of the best songs in video game music ever. It's really, really great. This is such a fun game. It's so 90s it hurts. It's so 90s anime that it was fantastic. I'd love to watch an anime of this. That would be great. But I just really, truly, really enjoyed my whole time with this. The only thing I remember hating was the dungeons and the design of them and the camera angles. I don't know. I remember it being really frustrating, but it didn't take away from my experience because I just truly loved the characters and the music and the story. I was really into it, and I like things in games that are just a bit weird, like something that's strange. If there's something weird going on, or I don't know, let me put it this way, there's something strange going on with Terra in Final Fantasy VI. Something is off there. And I like that. See, that's the kind of stuff I like in video games. I want it to be whimsical and colorful, but I want something really dark happening. Kind of like Earthbound. Looks so nice, but then there's Gygus and there's some weird stuff going on. I like that. So, a little bit of that in this game, and I really liked that. Same with Final Fantasy IX. There's some weird stuff going on with Vivi, and I was like, whoa, I like that. So if you're curious, my taste, that is my taste in stories in games, I guess. So yeah. Grandia. Awesome. Okay, we have reached the top 5, and these are really, really good games. And like I said, it depends on the day. Some of them might move places. I don't know. But let's just go with number 5 for now with Triangle Strategy. And the best part about this game is I blew it off big time. I was like, oh my god, I'm never playing that game. It's going to be just like Octopath Traveler. It's going to be grindy. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be for somebody like me. It's going to be boring. Ew. Everything I just said is wrong. That game, Triangle Strategy, is so good. It is like, every chapter, it's done in chapters, is like an insane cliffhanger, and you're like, no way! Like, you'll find something out, kind of like in a Xenoblade way, where you're like, no! And it was like, you're really into it. You're really into the story, and it was fantastic. You make all sorts of different choices that affect what happens with the story, and sometimes I don't like that, but I did like it in this game, because it was just really exciting to be like, okay, if I pick that, what's gonna happen? And then something like kind of crazy would happen, and it was very dialogue heavy, but in a way that wasn't boring or anything. It was really great, and it was accessible. It had difficulty modes, and I was very happy with that, because obviously with Octopath Traveler, while I have a lot of positive things to say about that game, Octopath Traveler was really grindy and, to me, not as accessible to a veteran noob like myself. I think that's my new title, veteran noob, because I've been playing JRPGs for years, and there are still some games where I'm like, hell no, that's too grindy for me, so whatever. But Octopath was like that. And Octopath, to me, had a really, like, blah story, and this did not. So, if you are like me and you're like, Octopath really threw me off, don't think that way. It's completely different. Same aesthetic, same look, gorgeous game, but a completely amazing story. Totally doable. If you're freaked out because you're like, oh my god, I'm not playing an SRPG, that's so hard, or I'm scared, or whatever, it won't bite you. This is very accessible, so definitely play it. It's really worth your time. And yeah, who knew this was gonna be, this is probably my favorite game of the year so far. I've played I think I've played 6 2022 games this year. This is, I think, the number 1 spot for sure in terms of releases this year. So, fantastic game. 100% recommend. Okay, coming in at number 4 is a fantastic game that is just wonderful in every way. The Switch version is amazing. Definitely play it this way. Do not play the other versions because, ew. Sorry. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is amazing. It looks better. It plays better. There's just everything about it. It makes it better. It's the way to play it. This is a fantastic story. So if you want a game with a fantastic story, this game right here is top notch. It's amazing. A very interesting battle system, obviously. I think it's probably the best one, like, of the Xenoblade Chronicles games I've played. I would probably like the battle system in this one the most, but the story is incredible. I was hooked the entire time. It has so many cliffhangers, it's unbelievable. I was so into it. This game starts off, the way I can describe it is, it starts off really good. This is going to be a great game. And then as it progresses, and I don't remember if it was like 30, like a third into the game or so, it took a weird turn, and I was like, oh shit, this is kind of weird, and there's some like different things, and I don't want to spoil stuff, so I won't say anything about that specifically, but I can tell you that there was some like really wacky weird stuff in it that made me very excited, because it got kind of like something kind of went a little off, and I like that a lot. So definitely check this out. It's so good. This is definitely like a top, like if this was your number 1 game, I would be like, yeah, duh, like it's really good. So Xenoblade Chronicles is fantastic. Everything about it is wonderful. Great world to explore, and I think the reason I like it so much is you can get whatever you want out of this. If you're the kind of person who likes MMOs and you just want to go and wander, you can. This is a huge world, which is daunting to someone like me, but you don't have to play it like that. You can literally just play through the story, go to the next thing, or you can just do side quest after side quest. Basically, I think this took me 40-something hours to beat, but if somebody told me they spent 100 hours on it, I wouldn't be surprised. So I'm a bare minimum person. I like playing as many games as I can and just getting through them. I know that might sound weird to people, but I still really enjoy them. So it's not like I'm just getting through games. Like, I really am enjoying myself. I'm not a wanderer. I'm not a side quest person. I don't want to do every single little thing. I really just want to get from A to B and do the story, because that's really the core thing for me. So that's how I play games. This is one of those games where you can play it however you want. Play the story, get through the game, enjoy yourself. Or, spend 3 years on it. So if you're into that, this game is there for you. I don't know if this is truly in my number 3 spot or if it's number 4. I don't know if I like it more than the first one. Truly, I don't know. I think it might be just because I just beat it, and that is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Yes, at the moment, I am placing it higher than Xenoblade Chronicles. And I thought hard about that, and I was like, but there's so many things in the first one that are better. Like, I think the battle system is better and more accessible and a little bit easier to understand than the second one. This is a shit show. There are a lot of reasons why Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is worse. Now, a few things here. I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in Japanese, like with Japanese voice acting, and Xenoblade Chronicles I played with English voice acting, just because I had originally played it on the Wii that way, and I was kind of like, whatever, I'm familiar with the voices. The English voices to me in this game sounded really weird, and I wasn't feeling it, and it sounded like really bad voice acting. I'm sorry if you enjoyed it. It didn't resonate with me, so I switched it to Japanese pretty immediately and enjoyed it so much more. Everything flowed and the dialogue felt real and better, so I played it that way. So full disclosure, that's how I played those games. I played this game throughout my entire recovery. I'm going to spend 1 minute talking about this because this is not what this video is about. But I recently just had surgery to correct my abdominal muscles from pregnancy, and I'm doing very well now. I definitely am still a little swollen and like have, there's still like tightness and stuff, but like, because it was 2 months ago now, but so recent, but in terms of recovery, like I'm fine. Like I can actually go for a run now. I'm fine walking around and can pretty much do everything I could do before. So yes, I had surgery to correct my abdominal muscle issue. I had diastasis recti. Basically, your abdominal muscles are like this, and then after pregnancy, sometimes they get completely messed up and stretched out, and they are basically broken. So I had that fixed and corrected, and it's fabulous now, and I'm very happy, and everything is great. So as my recovery, because that is a very hard recovery, I knew it was going to be crappy, but I didn't realize it was going to be as hard as it was. It is, you can't even stand straight for like at least a week. And I had, surgical drain tubes in me, and I looked like something out of the Matrix, and it was just a gross kind of icky, you're on very heavy painkillers, and it's just kind of a sedentary, weird thing. So I decided to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and it's kind of like my recovery game, and it got me through some days that were very boring and just kind of like laying in bed, and I beat this, and so that's why I like it so much. So maybe because I just played it, I speak very highly of this game. But a huge reason I speak highly is I think I like the characters in this game more than in the first one. The first one, I found some of the characters a little bland, and this one I felt like they had a little bit more character. Maybe it's the voice acting that did that for me. I don't know, but I really did like it. It is more anime, but it was in an anime way that I liked. It wasn't boring. It was really like, I didn't like Tales of Vesperia. It was boring. I really liked Xenoblade Chronicles 2. The cheesy anime aspect I really liked. So great game, very similar to the first one in terms of exploration and the world. The way you're running around all the time. It's very similar, but there was something I really, really liked about it. And again, it was another game at the end. I was so like, it was very emotional and very powerful, and I was like, yes! And I was very excited. So, I don't know. I don't know what game is better, truly, but for now, it's going to sit at spot number 3, and that's the way it goes. Now, coming in at number 2 is another weird, controversial pick, and I think you guys already know what it is, and I don't care. I don't care if it's that I'm putting it above Xenoblade Chronicles and some other games in here, but I really like this game, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and I told you, and I've talked about it in several videos now, that the reason I like it so much is it was the first time I ever experienced Dragon Ball Z. This is how I literally like discovered Dragon Ball Z was through this game. So I will always hold the game very highly because that's the way I experienced the story. So a lot of this is coming from the story, because yeah, there are aspects like where the gameplay I would put, you know, Triangle Strategy or, you know, Dragon Quest 3 or something above it in terms of gameplay, but I really just love this game. Again, was very much a clap game at the end where I was like, wow, Dragon Ball Z, that is an incredible masterpiece of a story. And yeah, I realized that it's a manga, but I played it through the game and I loved it so much, and this was a fantastic way to experience it. So play this game. Also, if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan and you haven't played this, definitely play it. It's so much fun because you get to experience the story, but you actually get to do all the battles yourself, which is really fun. And you change characters. You're not always Goku. It's not like you play the game as one character. Sometimes you have to play the game as Gohan. Sometimes you have to play the game as Piccolo or whoever. Like, all the great characters, and it is just so much fun. I couldn't stand it. I literally was smiling the entire game, and it's now one of my favorite games of all time. And so yeah, I'm putting it as number 2 because I am a crazy, obsessive Dragon Ball Z fan now, and it's due to this game, so I have to hold it very highly. Now, coming in at number 1 is not a surprise to anybody. This is probably a lot of people's top spot. It's one of the best games ever on the Switch. It's one of the best games ever. Not just on the Switch or on the PS4 or whatever. It's literally just, this is S tier, God tier game right here. And that is Dragon Quest XI S. Oh my god. This is one of the best games I've ever played in my life. This is everything I want in a game. Everything. It pretty much does everything perfectly. Now, I will say, because I know a lot of people liked it, I sort of didn't think that the final 15 hours for that true ending, like, you beat it, you see the credits, and then it's like, you can keep going, and I did, because I like the game so much that I was like, well, yeah, I'm gonna keep going. And so I got the true ending and all that stuff, beat the true final boss, all that. I didn't really think it was that necessary. Like, I didn't get the payoff I wanted. I wasn't like, oh my god, like, I wasn't. So, to me, it was kind of like, yeah, whatever. But other than that, this is one of the best games. In fact, this was my first Dragon Quest game, and it really made me realize, like, why I like Earthbound so much, because Earthbound just copied Dragon Quest. I know that. And it was kind of like, oh my god, it's copying this? Then I have to play all the Dragon Quest. So I've actually played several Dragon Quest games since. But this game is, hands down, just phenomenal. I love everything. The music is amazing, and yeah, I realize there's a lot of songs in here that have been used in other Dragon Quest games, but to me it was the first time I heard any of them, so I was like blown away, and it's all orchestrated in this version, so fantastic. And the story, the characters, I was laughing in this game. I truly loved it. And now I'm gonna say this, it's not controversial, but I find a lot of games are just like, they're really good, but if you compare them to like a movie or a TV show, they just don't, it's not as good. You're like, I don't know, like the characters, I don't know. But this, no, this was top. This is amazing. This is an amazing world, an amazing story. Everything about it, the battle system is perfect. It's perfection. It's exactly what I want. Dragon Quest is my love. Okay. You know how you go to like an ice town and a desert town and like a tropical seaside town in games? That's what this is. You will get that from this game. That's why I like Ni no Kuni. That's why I like Earthbound. I like games like that. Or Grandia, if you're traveling and you get to see all that, where's Paige's list of checkmark, you get to go to an ice town. I'm there. That's why I like Pokemon so much, because it is that big world adventure where you are going off and you get to hit up all these different towns. You go to that one big city, then you go to that small town, that farm town, then you go to a desert town, an ice town, sometimes there's a tropical town. It's kind of like cliche. There's that medieval town. That's my favorite thing in life. So if there's JRPGs like that I haven't played, please tell them to me right now, because I want to play all of them, because that is my life goal, to play games like that. I I get so much joy out of games like that, and why I still continuously get excited about new Pokemon entries, because it's just life. So that's my personal taste. But yeah, this is the best thing ever, and like I was like legit like tearing in several parts of this game because it was just so incredible, and just a really, also a game I played at a time in my life when I hadn't, like, I, you know, was trying to figure out who I was again because I just had a baby, so that was another reason that I really like this game. But other than that, this is top tier, the best. This is my favorite Dragon Quest still, even after playing 4 or 5 now. I've played a bunch now. I have played Dragon Quest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 11? Yes, I think so. I think that's all of them. I still need to play 6, 7, 8, 9, not obviously 10. So yeah, I've played a bunch, and this is still the best one. Hands down. It's phenomenal. It is so good. I'm just literally talking in front of camera saying this is great, but I'm serious. It's the best. So that's my top 10 JRPG list on the Nintendo Switch, and it is always changing because I'm always playing JRPGs, and I'm always hoping, you know, maybe I'll bump one off the list and we'll see something new next year. Who knows? Or give it a couple years and see how the list changes. I don't know. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you got an idea for a game, or you're like, hey, I might like that actually. I hope so anyway. So have a great, fabulous day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.